Well, hi, this is Dave Johnston with Day Trade the Markets. We're looking at a 1-minute chart of the Emini S&P for Tuesday, January the 19th, 2016. You can see I've placed an order in here to buy 4 contracts at 1864.50. Hoping to get a bit of a pullback here to get long. After this market today has had a pretty nice sell-off. We've got a high today almost at 1896 and a low down there, as you can see, roughly, I think it was just above 1856. So, 40-point range today, a good sell-off. These high-velocity moves, and I'll just point them out here. That's these rectangular areas that you can see. We got one right here, and we got another one right here. And you can see when this one is formed, the market stayed below its low. When this one formed, it didn't really spend much time below its low, and now it's spending time above its high. So I'm anticipating that that area is going to act as support, and that's why that's why I've got an order to get long at 1864.50. I think the kind of rejection that we have had off of the low is pretty nice, though. And it might dip a little bit lower. As you can see, we've had a couple, actually, these green bars are aggressive buying, and I'm trying to just get long on that bit of a pullback there. But what I am going to do, just to get in on this trade, because I do think it's going to be quite a good opportunity. If it does come down and fill us at 84.50, fine. But in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and get long right in here and just stretch that out a little bit, see if we can get. Okay, I'm going to have to try and get long there at 1867. So I'm going to try and get long right here, 1867. Okay, there we are, 1867 even. We're now long 2 contracts. The next objective is going to be up here in this area here around 1872. And I'll go ahead and, just in case we only get the 2 filled, I'm going to go ahead and put in a sell limit right in here on this one, around 71. So hopefully we can get filled down here around 42.50. It might even drop a little bit more than that. I'm going to try and get also long at 63. So I'm going to try and buy another 2 right in here at 63. So I'll put in a buy limit here at 63. Okay, buy limit for 2 there. So we're long 2 right now. We're trying to get long another 4 at 64.50 and another 2 at 1863. So I've kind of just jumped on this one here just to get in, because I do think it's quite a good opportunity. The trade location is not exactly the best place, but I do think the market is likely to have a nice move higher here, and I just wanted to be on board at least for 1 or 2 contracts kind of thing. So we've got our first objective in there, sell limit at 71. I haven't yet put a stop in, and what I will do, just because if the market does come down and fill us, we're actually going to be long 8 contracts. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a sell stop down here for 8. Kind of well below the market down there at 1858. That's just sort of a God forbid kind of price, down in here. I certainly don't think it's going to get down there, but I got to put something in just to be on the safe side, because you never know. If somebody's going to open his mouth and move the market, then I want to be able to protect myself. Anyway, so that's really it for right now. By the way, the market did have a nice gap up higher earlier today, and we have sold off obviously into that. We have not taken out Friday's low. We have come back down into Friday's range after opening well above it. Well, let's see here. We opened around 94, and the high on Friday was about 83. So yeah, it's about 10, 11 points above it. So we had a nice, much higher opening, and we have sold off. Obviously, the day's been controlled by sellers up until, in my opinion, just recently here in the last few minutes. So I'll go ahead and pause the recording just to try and keep it fairly short and pick it up. Should we get filled? Looks like maybe we'll get filled here at 64.50 if we get a little lucky. Just give it an okay, good. We just got filled there, so we're now long 6, and we're still trying to get long at 63. Maybe we're going to get that, maybe not, but we're basically wanting to get long, just so you know. what we're looking at here, I'll just get one of these lines, and the top of this area right in here is what we're looking at as likely support. That's the top of this vertical dark rectangle here, which is what we call a high velocity selling move. No follow through lower. Now we've got acceptance above it, so we're expecting this area to act as support. So that's why we've got our orders in basically in this area. So at any rate, we did get filled on that, so we're now long 6. And what I will do is I'm going to change this sell limit here. I'm going to put it at 3 for our first objective up there at our average price right now is 65.25. So I'm going to change that first objective to 69.25. We'll lower that down just a little bit. 69.25, there it is right there, into roughly the midpoint of this previous high velocity selling move. So that's maybe a pretty good objective for right now. I do think it's going to take out this little area right in here where we just traded up to. So anyway, we've got our stop in place. We've got our other buy order in. We've got our objective here on the exit of half the position. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording, and I will pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just bringing up to date here, we did get filled at 63. You can see it just dipped down here to 62.50. So we do have the stop, and it's quite a large stop. I really don't want to leave it there for too long. If we can get a bit of a bounce here, I will then adjust the stop. But I think we're probably all right in here. I've got the stop. What's it at? 58. Yeah, I'm going to bring it up to at least, let's say, at 59, just, because we are long 8, so I don't want to risk, because that's 6.5, that's $300 a contract, so I don't want to risk more than that. That's a pretty sizable amount. So we do have our stop in place. We're looking for some good movement higher here, and I will go ahead. Oh, I need to adjust this now to 4 contracts because of half of the position. So we're now long 64.75. I'm just going to reduce this a couple of ticks to 68.75. I like to get 4 points on the first objective here. So, okay, we've just dipped down here. Now we just had a nice deceleration bar. That's this bar just before the current one. And you can see it did come down a little bit, and it did decelerate and formed also a divergence. So that's why we have the dot and the triangle below the low of this little bar here that sold off. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and adjust my stop to just below there. So you can see that it got down to 62.25. I'm going to adjust my stop to 61.75. Let me just stretch that out a little bit, and you can see it there. So my stop is now 2 ticks below this last dip. Okay, so 61.75 to 64.75. So our risk is now 3 points. It was 6 points a little bit ago, so now it's just 3 points. So that's only $150 per contract, which is still still a fair amount, but I think we're looking pretty good here. Nice that it just came down and hit our 63 and has had a good bounce here. So we'll leave it like that for now, and I'll pick up the recording as needed. Okay, just picking up the recording again. It did give us a little bit of a dip here, as you can see, and it's now come up and it's hit our price right on the dot. We haven't yet been filled, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Because the market has now moved 4 points, I'm going to go ahead and put in a break-even stop. So we're no longer risking anything, so that's a good thing. Obviously, we'd like to get filled here at our first objective. Try and get the 4 points on the first half of the position, the first 4 contracts. So at any rate, we have hit the price but not filled, so we'll just have to keep watching it, and I do suspect it's going to continue to, okay, there we are, we got filled on that, so that's nice. So I'm going to go ahead and reduce this down to 4. We're now down to 4 contracts on this, and you can see this last move up has attracted some aggressive buying. So I'm going to go ahead and raise the stop. The low of that green bar, as you can see, is right there at 66.25. I will put in my stop at 65.75, 2 ticks below the low of this green bar, and a point above our entry. So looking pretty good there. And Our next objective is really up in this area right in here. I don't have an order in there, and I probably should go ahead and do something like that. So we got 4 contracts left. So I'll go ahead and put it right up in here at, let's see, I think probably, well, let's try it at 71. We'll try and sell 2 at 71. That's about 3/4 of a point below this barrier, and it's right in towards the top of this high velocity move. You take a look at this high velocity move. It had a range here from 72.50 down to 66.50. It's about 6 points. So you take about a third, take 2 points off of that, bring it down here to 70.50. Yeah, I should probably. Well, we just got filled on this here at 68.75. If I come down 2 points from here, that from the top of the high velocity move, that'll bring it to 70.50. That's okay. Let's bring it down to 70.50. Okay. And for the objective on the next 2 contracts. So, all right. So that I think that's a fair objective on that. A little bit higher than where we got. It's about 2 points roughly above where we got filled. We were filled at 68.75, so 70.50. Okay, we'll leave it like that. We've got our stop in, our objective. I'll pause the recording once again and pick it up when need be. Okay, just resume the recording. Okay, good. We just got filled on that. Okay, so we're out of those 2 contracts. So we're now just down to having 2 contracts here. And this last movement higher, it dipped at 68. So I will go ahead and place a stop here at 67.50 on the final 2 contracts. So what I want to do here is I'm just going to make a notation. We know where we're long from average is 64.75. We exited once here at this level at 68.75 for 4 points on the first half, and then right up here at 70.50 on the for 1/4 of the position for 2 contracts. We now have our stop in place here, and I should probably make a notation of that too. I like to make these in red. Just, you know, it's red for the stop, so I'll just place this right in here. This is where our current stop is, right here. Okay, so there we go. Looks like our market is continuing to rally up, so we're just going to keep adjusting the stop here in this case. Now, what I should make a notation of here is this previous high velocity selling move right here. And you can see the top of that is right here, and I'll just extend that line over so you can see that the top of this is right here. Now, we know that the last time the market got up near the high of the most recent high velocity selling move was right here on the previous one, down in here. Whoops. And when it hit in this area, it did burst through nicely, came back and tested it, which is where we got long. Now this one here is moving up, you know, pretty nicely through it. So we'll just go ahead and let this continue to rally. We still got our 2 contracts on board. By the way, if anyone is interested in contacting us, our email is right here, info@daytradethemarkets.com, if you want to reach us, if you got any questions about any of these trades. I'll go ahead once again and pause this recording. Just a quick reminder, this is a 1-minute chart of the Emini S&P, the March 2016 contract, and today is Tuesday, January the 19th, 2016. I'll go ahead and pause the recording and pick it up when it's time to make another adjustment on the stop. Okay, started again. We've got another aggressive bar here. This is a lighter green, so it's just a level 1. This is a darker green, level 2. The blue is the level 3, which is the strongest. So as we have moved off the high here, we've had 3 of the level 1s, the weakest of the aggressive buying bars, but this is a very powerful one right here, this level 2, this green bar. So I'm going to go ahead and make another adjustment on the stop. We have, you know, we're moving above this, the high of this high velocity move up there at 72.50. And I really don't want the market to get much below that at this point. So you can see that when we did move up through this area, we did form a buying deceleration bar. So I really don't want the low of that bar to get taken out. Now you can see here the low of that bar is at 1871.50, and so I will adjust the stop to 1871 even. So we're long from 64.75, so that'll lock in what, 6.25 points on that. So just wanted to bring you up to date. It's moving nicely, and I'll go ahead and pause the recording and pick it up when it's time to make another adjustment on the stop. Okay, we're continuing to get some good up movement. You can see here that we now have once again a green bar, which is a level 2 buying, the second most aggressive. So what I'm going to do is adjust the stop to just below the low of that bar, which is at 74.50. So I'm going to adjust the stop down or up to 73.75, 3 ticks below its low. It's going to lock in 9 points on this trade. It might get stopped, but I think we got to tighten these up as the market continues to move up for us. I mean, the other option is to perhaps just put a stop in there for one of the contracts and then bring it down below this blue line, this blue horizontal line here, which is the top of this high velocity move. But I'll just leave it at that for the time being and see how. Okay, so we got stopped on that, and I should mark that stop in there, right in there at 73.75. So. Okay, just a quick summary here. We've got 9 points on the final two. On the first four, we got 4. And on the second 2 contracts, we got an additional, what was it, 2 points? 1 3/4 points. So, all in all, this trade worked out quite nice. I think that there's still, potentially some more up movement in this. You can see the market just came back down and touched onto the blue line here. As I was saying, I was thinking about just getting stopped on the 1 and putting another stop with a little bit larger room here for it to move, i.e. not likely below this blue line. But as I was talking, we got stopped on that as it was. So at any rate, that still worked out quite nicely because 4 times 4, so we got 16 points on the first objective. We got another 9 and 9, 18. So 18 and 16, that's pretty nice. That's at about 32 or something like that. And then, of course, we had another, what was it, 6.75 times 2. 13.5 on that. So, it worked out to be about a 40-some point trade. So, here it is moving up again. So, at any rate, I think just a final comment on this trade, this live trade here, and what we did here today is that this software, once you kind of get onto this software and understand the basics of the auction process, it can really help you out because we don't know of any other software that provides these aggression bars the way that we have them. And not only aggression, but we also monitor speed of the market, which is these high velocity moves. So when you start combining speed of the market with aggression, and you tie that into the context of the auction process itself, you really stand a good chance of getting on the right side of the market, and you're going to know fairly quickly when you're not. I did use a larger stop than I usually do on this one as the initial stop. It was more like a God forbid stop kind of thing because as you saw, I moved it very quickly to about half of the initial risk and then fairly quickly to right to break even. And I think these are the kind of things you can do with this kind of software. So if you've got any questions or any interest in trading like this, and this happens to be the Emini S&P, but I mean, you can use this software and this approach in any of the financial markets, whether it's futures, stocks, ETFs, bonds, whatever you want to use it in. So anyway, just want to thank you for watching. I'll go ahead and stop the recording here, and if you want to contact us, you can reach us at info@daytradethemarkets.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.